Congratulations to Nigeria as she clocks 59. While we celebrate this beautiful country and rich with both human and natural resources, how far have we fared as a nation?
Nigeria at 59. Well, for me, it's a mixed story. Um, we've really come a long way. One thing I'm happy about is that we've been able to be on the path of democracy. But although for me democracy is not being practiced the way it should, it's not for Nigeria, it's not really government for the people, by the people. It's more for the elite here in Nigeria. And I think that should change. This change with mantra that we've been preaching for some time now, every one of us has to make that change. But for me, it has to start with the leadership. Leadership has to come out and be very sincere about how they want to, manage the people and manage the economy. We talk about something like reducing the cost of governance. We're not implementing that, but we hear people wanting to spend so much money in buying cars. For instance, for the senators, they are buying cars. What do they need these cars for? These are people who are already driving big cars. If you want to go, if as a senator you want to buy a bulletproof car, you don't need that car if you are doing well. If you are really pursuing the goal of the people and you're in tune with your people, you're doing what you're supposed to be doing for your people. You don't need bulletproof car because your people will be happy with you. We need to really, the leadership has to up their game. If we budget funds for projects, let's go ahead and use those funds as we have prescribed for the people, and let the people see to experience governance in the real sense of it. The youths are there. We say our youths are not doing very well. Why would they do it? Because we didn't really we didn't mentor them the way they ought to be mentored. We travel abroad, we go to the UK, we see how it's done in the US, even Singapore, in Asia, everywhere people are upping their game. Why would Nigeria do the same? If we don't need to know it, or we can always borrow from what people are doing and try to adapt it to our own system. But we see our leaders go out, they come back, and they don't see things differently the way they have. Bringing things that they have, when they travel out and they see things, they should come here and do, similar things, adapt it to our own culture. We know we have that cultural difference, but they're not doing it. So we have to be sincere. Leadership has to be sincere. Reduce the cost of governance. You don't need to keep buying things that we already have. And if you're giving projects, you have funds for projects, let's go and do it for the people. When the people are happy, and because they are seeing the dividend of governance, they will not go into all this sort of agitation. I think that's most important for me.
59 years as a country, as an independent nation, I think that is a mixed situation here. We thank God for the fact that we still exist as a country, in spite of all that had happened. But something that what is very topical right now is the security situation in the country, because we've not had it so terrible. Not even during the wartime that you could record the number of deaths on a daily basis as we're doing now. So that you see security challenges across almost every state of the country. In the north, you have the terrorists, you have the bandits, you have kidnappers running riot, you have, of course, armed robbers, all manner of things. So these are signs of if I can say failed state, because security is first thing really. If you don't have security, if you don't sort your security issue right, you can't sort anything out, because without security there will be no development, and without development you are stagnating. So I will, if I'm to advise the leadership of this country and what to do, I will ask them to concentrate all their efforts at getting our security right, because if you get your security right, every other thing will add up. Development, progress, economy, stuff. But if you are in a state of anarchy, state of anomy, it has no way you can see measured development. Every other country across the world, that we are seeing, semblance of development is because they have sorted out their security issue. I mean, let's get it right. It's not as if you can get 100% security in any country, but there has to be some level of normalcy, some level of stability, security. Where people can feel a sense of security to even go out to live. So Nigeria should think security more than any other thing else. If you get it right, everything will add up.
As a nation, I believe we have done a little bit better today than where we are before. Of course, there's so much room for improvement. There's no doubt about that. But why Nigeria must celebrate today at 59 is because, judging from where we are coming from and all that has happened in Nigeria as a nation, and the postulations by from some quarters before now that in 2015 Nigeria will disintegrate. Yet today we are still one nation. I think it calls for celebration. What has happened in Nigeria, if it happens in some other countries, maybe today they must have balkanized. But Nigeria remains one. So I think it calls for celebration, but that does not preclude the fact that there's so much room for improvement, for us to do better as one people, as one nation.
Seriously, talking about doing well, Nigeria hasn't done anything. They've not been that better because of the crisis happening in the country. So many things, the killings, bombings, corruption at large, the economy dropping from where it is to where it is now. Seriously, it's not better as it is when you go to bed at night and you're not able to sleep very well with your two eyes closed. Seriously, there is a big problem.